Hi, I'm Tommy Vincent, your host of Stay a While podcast, recording live from Radio Row at Super Bowl 60. This season, we have some phenomenal guests that are joining us at the Stay a While table. So pull up a seat, get comfortable, and come and stay a while. Tune into our conversations to receive nourishment for your mind, your body, and your soul. Hi, this is your personal invitation to come, take a seat, and stay a while. I am your host, Tommy Vincent, recording live from Super Bowl 60 on Radio Row, Stay a While podcast. And today I have joining me Damar Hamlin. Damar is a safety with the Buffalo Bills, and most importantly, he is the founder of Chasing M's Foundation. Today's conversation is going to be rooted in faith, resilience, and gratitude. I'm honored to welcome Damar to Stay a While. Damar founded the Chasing M's Foundation in 2020 with a mission to help young people chase their dreams safely and with support. Damar is also a partner with Stand Together, a philanthropic community that helps America's boldest change makers tackle the root causes of our country's biggest problems to ensure kids all over the country have the safe and supportive opportunities to chase their dreams.
Well said.
Following Damar's on-field medical emergency in 2023, the foundation gained national attention. And today, continues to invest in life-saving care, youth development, and community programs that open doors and save lives. Damar, welcome to Stay a While.
Thanks for having me. And this setup is so comfortable. I want to stay a while for sure.
So listen, that's me. It is important for when people come into any atmosphere that I have an opportunity to curate, I want them to feel at home. And in your journey, as you've been navigating life, being thrusted into a spotlight as a result of something that happened in your life, have you had to identify a new home in yourself just with people recognizing you now and making sure that people aren't recognizing you for that moment, but recognizing what you're bringing to the table with Chasing In?
Yes, indeed. And that's the perfect way to put it. One thing I say I always gained is perspective. And that perspective was able to see things on a different scale where I had to prioritize self. I had to prioritize making sure that I could show up as the best me so that I can give to the people that I care about most. And, I was faced with an opportunity to allow a moment to define me or, continue to chase purpose. And, I always wanted to grow through what I go through. But, it's so many more things and more avenues of life that I truly have passions for. And one of them being making sure that I give back to kids all across the world.
Well, first of all, don't think I ain't hear you dropping bars.
You feel me? It's just flowing.
But let's talk about, what do you do? Like, share with us exactly what it is that you're doing so that you are creating this space and this environment for young people to chase their dreams.
So I think the most important thing that we can do for kids is make sure that they have all of the resources and the access and the tools to chase whatever the dream is that they have. And through the Chasing M's Foundation, our main biggest pillar is youth empowerment and making sure that whatever these kids have a dream of, that we can be able to put these resources in place. Whether a kid wants to be an NFL athlete, whether he wants to be a businessman, an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, whatever the case may be, making sure that we put the programs and the right things in place to make sure that they have all the equal opportunities to not only just put them in a level playing field, but trampoline them to, empower more people and more generations to come. Alongside youth empowerment, we truly have a very important pillar within the heart health space. My experience on the field was sudden cardiac arrest, and sudden cardiac arrest is the leading cause of death in youth sports. So, through all of my work that I'm doing with the Chasing North Foundation and alongside Stand Together, we're tackling the number one cause that, is preventing our kids, who have all of these athletic dreams and, even beyond the field, from pursuing them. And, we've traveled the world, we've been in 6 different countries so far, just preaching the message of how important CPR is and how important it is to, know and have an AED somewhere near. Every year there are 350 out of hospital, sudden cardiac arrests. And, there is a 10% survival rate. So, the work that we're doing truly translates and saves lives. And, I couldn't really feel like I had a bigger purpose. I always felt like the game of football was going to like give me my life fulfillment and my purpose just through like chasing different milestones. But stepping outside those lines and stepping into this additional role in my life, it has been a journey that has just given me more fulfillment than like anything else.
Yeah. Well, football is not who you are, it's what you do. And you as the individual are filled with amazing things that God put inside of you that gives you the ability to do a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we pursue things, and then other times the thing that we're called to do shows up. And for you, it showed up. And your platform has the ability to go in so many different directions because you have experience. You're not just someone talking about heart health and the importance of the AEDs and having them accessible and youth sports and how that potentially can impact them. You have experience. Then that makes you a commodity in the space.
Mm-hmm.
And don't you ever forget that.
Mm-hmm.
When people are coming to you to tie your name to something as a result, remember it's your experience that qualifies you, and it's your experience that no one else has. So don't ever forget that.
Thank you for that.
But I want to ask you, who was instrumental in giving you the ability to chase your dreams?
I gotta give this is my favorite part of my life, is giving my parents the credit, like giving them their flowers, literally. Like these flowers sit right here all nice. Giving my parents the flowers is like my favorite part of like adulthood, because they truly invested everything that they had into me. My parents had me young, I was 16 years old. And like from that moment on, they committed their entire lives into giving me all of the resources that I had to be successful, without any without any like game plan or guidance. They truly just had great hearts, and they had collaboration and partnership within each other of a shared mission that, we created this kid together. So we're going to make sure that we give him everything that he needs to be successful. And they kept me on a straight line. Anytime I tried to go left, go right, they made sure I got right back on that track. And I'm so thankful for them because, they truly empowered me to be able to, go in any room and not feel inferior to anyone. Go in any room and just know that I can just walk in and be myself because, I know my heart. I know I'm a genuine person. Regardless of what I don't know, I'm willing to learn. And, they have truly made me comfortable in my skin, and they have put like the DNA in me to truly care about others. My dad was the leader of, our famous community days growing up in our communities, hosting our AAU teams. And, he really provided the structure for our community. He was a community dad. And, my mom, she worked at the local summer program back in the day, and she owns 2 daycares now. So like my family are truly rooted in community, and they're truly rooted in caring about others. So like who I am is not just because of just being so blessed, being at the center of so much love and prayer and so many good things. That truly did like reinvent my heart, and it made me always want to give my love back to the world. But it's been who I am because of my parents.
Yeah. So community is. Like, this is how Troy and I, my husband Troy and I, we talk about when people ask us about our community involvement. It's etched in our DNA. So it's a lifestyle. No one has to tell us to serve.
Yes.
Because this is how we grew up, and we recognize the value that it adds to community. So I am the author of a new book, The Table of Life, Nourishing the Soul with Food, Love, and Faith.
Love that.
And in the book, the premise of the book is to teach the reader how to build their own table, one dish at a time, using all of the ingredients of their life. So for you, when you think about the dishes on your table, what ingredient from your life is necessary for every single dish in order for you to be able to show up as Damar Hamlin?
I would say two dishes that I could think of as my salt and pepper. I would say, just love first and foremost, because if you lead with love, my favorite thing to say is, I let my heart walk in every room before me, and just that way, I it really just allows everyone else to just feel comfortable in their own skin to be themselves. When you just feel like, you're just loving, you're accepting. So I say love, and then I say prayer, because as I all this past season I passed, my motto was like seek him first, seek his kingdom first. Just through that right there, it gives you my peace, and it gives me my game plan and my blueprint to continue to carry on and just know that everything's going to be all right and it's going to work out how it's supposed to, because I'm connected to a higher source than all of this going on right now.
Yes.
All of this going on right now. Some people, are truly just, just being caught up in the ways of the world. I'm truly trying to be led by the renewing of my mind.
Well, I appreciate that. Same premise for me. My relationship with Jesus Christ is everything.
Yes.
It is the foundation of everything I do. Before I let you go, is there anything that you would like to share that we have not discussed?
I think I would just love to share, you started out saying how, you love making sure that everyone, is like just comfortable. Just like you said, stay a while. I have always felt like comfortable and like family anytime that I was in your space. And I always just enjoy hearing you speak, because I'm always learning something. I remember last year when we were at the Stand Together philanthropic locker room. And the first time that I heard you speak, and I met you and your husband, and it was just like, I knew that y'all were powerful people that I was glad to be, a part of the same circle as. So I'm just excited, and I'm glad to feel like family.
And you are family. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you sharing what you just shared, because that means a great deal to me. So thank you very much.
Much love.
So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Where can people follow you and just learn all the things about Chasing M's?
Yes.
And, if they want to get involved.
Yeah, so all of my foundation links, you can find all of the volunteer links or donation links at www.chasingthemsfoundation.com. I post everything that we do on our foundation Instagram, Chasing Them's Foundation. You can just stay up to date with like all the cool things that I have going on my Instagram, on my TikTok, on my YouTube at d.ham3. So there's always something going on. Who knows what will be next? Who knows what's next?
Well, thank you so much, Damar. I appreciate you coming by and staying a while. And just know you always have a seat at my table.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I hope you felt the love and connection in today's conversation. Every woman you heard from has faced the impossible and emerged stronger. This is your personal invitation to stay a while longer at TommyV.com. That's TOMMIV.com for more inspiration for your mind, body, and soul. And let's not forget your belly. You're always welcome at my table. Please be sure to subscribe, make yourself at home, and stay a while.